Hello everyone, welcome to this session on how to crack IPMAT Rohtak. I am Jaimin Shah, the academic head for UG Management Studies at IMS. Today we are going to discuss the previous year's paper pattern, cutoffs, previous year's cutoff, strategy and the ideal attempt and the prep plan for cracking this particular entrance test. So if you look at the paper pattern last year, that's 2022, and a year before that in 2021, the paper pattern was same. You have a quant section, quantitative ability, you have a logical reasoning and a verbal ability section. Each section has a 40 question. Every question is +4 and -1 for going wrong. No sectional time limit. Now, if you read the instruction of IPMAT, Rohtak or 2021 and 2022, in the instruction they had mentioned that there would be sectional time limit, but in the actual paper, there was no sectional time limit. So I would want to advise students that, this year, read the instruction carefully so that if there is a sectional timer, you can change your strategy before you actually start the paper. Okay, so just be aware of that. And unlike IPMAT Indore, IPM Rohtak do not have any sectional cutoff, so you can score, spend more time in your favorite section. Try to maximize score in that area, right? So that your overall score increases. IPMAT Rohtak has only and only overall cutoff. So if you see in 2021, the cutoff overall cutoff was 257 marks versus 2022, the cutoff went up to 306 marks. Now, was paper so easy that the cutoff, increased by almost 50 marks? My answer is no. I mean, it was not that easy. Might be slightly easy, but the main reason behind this is that there is a lot of awareness among the students about this exam. Students start their preparation well in advance, and a lot of relevant material is available for the students to prepare. Okay, and hence the cutoff has gone high in my knowledge. So what should be the strategy to crack the IPMAT Rohtak? As you saw, the cutoff was very high, so it clearly indicates it's an exam of speed and accuracy. You need to have high speed and high accuracy. Okay, there will be some speed breaker question, very few. So there will be some 2 or 3 speed breaker question in every section, which are confusing or time, confusing or it is time consuming. So you just need to identify those and avoid those questions. Or maybe there will be some question in every section which you are not very comfortable. So once you come across that question, maybe keep that question for end. If you have time, you can come back and solve. So time management is very crucial. You cannot waste 3-4 minutes on one particular question and then skip, right? So you need to decide on the spot, whether you will be, you want to attempt this question or you don't want to attempt and you want to leave ahead. And hence it becomes very important to focus on your strength. You should play from strength to strength and try to score as high as possible in your favorite. So for example, if my favorite area is verbal ability, okay, I would probably attempt, as many questions as possible as I am able to attempt correctly, and I would try that my accuracy is as high as 90%. Okay, so I mean, so for example, let's say if I attempt 35 question in verbal ability, out of which I go, let's say, around 32 correct. So now if I calculate my marks, that almost close to 132 and -3, okay, that will be close to 129 marks. That is what I would be scoring, correct? So I mean, I can score 40% of the mark in my favorite area. That will save, that will help me a lot to boost my overall score. We always say that, because it's a paper of high speed, high accuracy, make sure that you attempt, at least, somewhere 100 plus with around 85% accuracy. But, if you're not able to attempt that many questions, let's say you are able to attempt only 90 questions, okay, 95 questions, somewhere around that, then your accuracy should be high on the higher side, okay. So, this is with an assumption that, the cutoff, the objective should not be to just clear the cutoff. The objective should be to, beat the cutoff by significant margin so that you are in the safe zone, right? So this is the ideal attempt to be in the safe zone. Probably you can attempt slightly lesser and just clear the cutoff. That's also possible. Okay, your target mark should be somewhere in the range of 310 or above to be in the safe zone. That's what you should be targeting. Now, if we talk about the quant breakup, over the last 2 years, the paper pattern is more or less stable. You can say, speed, time, distance, numbers, geometry, percentages. You'll have around 4 to 5, 6 questions from each of this area. Time and work, average, mixtures, ratios will have close to 3, 4 questions, and PNC probability, set theory, linear and quadratic equation will have around 2, 3 questions, and some couple of questions from some various topic, but more or less this is the set paper, you can say. Okay. As you can see here, it is high on arithmetic, roughly around 55 to 60% of the paper is on arithmetic. Okay, that is very different when we compare to the IPMAT Indore paper, right? And the paper is on a significantly easier, this section quant especially is significantly on the very easier side, and we suggest that the ideal attempt should be 32 plus. That's what that will help you to achieve that overall cutoff, overall attempt of 100 marks and 300 plus 310 score. When we come to verbal ability, this has been the paper pattern again the last 2 years. We have 16 questions on reading comprehension, 8 para jumbled, around 6 to 7, grammar error spotting question, 5, 6 questions on fill in the blank, and 4 to 5 questions on vocabulary, which test your synonyms, antonyms, and analogy skills. This section is basically, we always say that you should be, your reading speed should be high. Not only that, your comprehending skill should also be good, and your ideal attempt should be 35 plus. Only then you will be able to reach that attempt, that total attempt of 100 plus. So that's what your target should be. And when it comes to logical reasoning, you have questions on syllogisms, arrangement, critical reasoning. This is something which is a game changer, probably I would say. If you are good at critical reasoning, then probably you will be able to attempt all questions, because otherwise if I look at other questions type, that's syllogism, arrangement, coding, decoding, series, data sufficiency, analogy, direction, blood relation, none of the topics are such that a student don't know how to solve. So a student will try to maximize the score in logical reasoning section, and if your critical reasoning is good, probably you will be able to attempt all questions. Okay. And hence, scoring 130 plus, we have, and or maybe close to 140 or something, should be an ideal. So if I'm able to, score around 130 there, I am attempting, I'm getting more than 40% of my mark in this section, right? So that will help again to, beat that overall score. Ideal attempt 35 plus, maybe, we have seen students who attempt all 40 questions in this section. So that's very much possible in this particular paper. We come to the overall prep plan. You should take the IMS Sim IPMAT Rohtak and analyze. While you're analyzing, you should identify areas why you are not able to attempt more questions. That can be done by analyzing. If you are spending a lot of time on some particular question, and see if you can reduce the time there, right? We have been conducting the maximizer workshops, so watch them, and also maybe it's better if you revise them once again after you attend the lecture, right? So attend the maximizer workshop. Then every day, probably 20 days or 20 days in advance, or 30 days, 1 month in advance, you should be solving close to around 30 quant question in 40 minutes should be your aim. Maybe 35 LR question in 40 minutes and 40 verbal ability question in 25 minutes should be your aim. Okay, if your reading speed is not that great, probably this 25 will take 30 minutes. So you will still have around 10 to 15 minutes left to go and attempt some quant question or LR question, and try to maximize there by attempting 3 or 4 more question in those last 10 to 15 minutes. So this is how your overall prep plan and strategy should be to crack an IPMAT Rohtak exam. That's it. So thank you very much and all the best for the exam.